All right, so Brian Houston is going through trial right now, potentially facing up to 2 years in prison if convicted guilty. We're kind of waiting and seeing what's going to happen with this trial, if he will be guilty or not guilty. But guys, we need to unpack this. And I'm going to give you the background of kind of what's going on and what's happened, as well as going to some verses that this brings to mind. And then I'm going to kind of give you my thoughts as well on the response that I have and that I encourage you guys to have as well. But really, what's going on is Brian Houston is in court right now, potentially facing up to 2 years in prison because he hid from authorities what his father was doing to young children in the church, which was sadly sexually assaulting them, molesting them, guys. It's a very disgusting and gross situation, very sinister and dark, but that's what was going on behind closed doors. And instead of going to authorities when his father did confess that to Brian, his son, he really just kind of pushed it under the rug. There's stories out there that they were trying to pay people off. What I think about this whole situation is Hillsong is one of, if not the largest church organizations in the world. I mean, they almost have a Hillsong in every single continent. They might actually have a church in every single continent or close to it. I know they have somewhere between 60 churches all over in different countries. I mean, it's massive. And I know some of those have closed down because of what's going on. A lot of people have separated from Hillsong completely. So there's a whole lot that's going on because of all of this that's come decades later with opening up to the public's eye. And there's a few verses that kind of came to mind when reading about this story and continuing to kind of cover this story. And I found it in Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 17. It says, "For my eyes are on all their ways." This is the Lord speaking. "They are not hidden from my face, nor is their iniquity hidden from my eyes." So no matter what the outcome, guys, the iniquity, the sin that was committed by Brian's father and by Brian, that doesn't go unseen by the Lord. And if it's not truly repented of, then there will be righteous judgment from God. And so we also see in Isaiah chapter 59, verses 1 to 2, where it says, "Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, nor his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated you from your God, and your sins have hidden his face from you, so that he will not hear." So what we're seeing here is, hey, listen, God's hand is not shortened, that it can't save. God can save, and God can hear. But because of the iniquities that you have committed, yes, he has closed his ears to you, and he will not hear you, nor will he see you, because he will hide his face from you because of those iniquities. And until those iniquities have been repented of truly, it will continue to be that way. And so no matter how we look at Hillsong and Brian Houston and we see, oh wow, look at the Lord's hand on this organization and everything, guys, justice will be served one way or another. And so we have to trust that, and we have to hold fast to that and know that the Lord is good, righteous, and just. What I really personally think the reasoning behind Brian Houston covering up his father's sin and this whole sexual assault allegation against multiple children really stems down from money. And Brian Houston hasn't come out and said this is the reason why or anything like that, but it's a hard one not to look at. Guys, when you look at the size of Hillsong and what it's become and the multi-million-dollar industry it's turned into, that cannot be ignored, because something like this will destroy Hillsong. And now that it's come out, yes, it's affected it. But guys, Hillsong has already made their money, and they've already have this solid foundation that they've built on. So it's hard for Hillsong to completely go away forever. And sadly, Hillsong won't go away forever. Now, if this comes out before Hillsong is what it is now, yeah, it's totally tarnished, it's destroyed. There's no way they can come back from it. And I think that was the biggest fear out of it all was, hey, if this comes out, this whole plans that we have and Hillsong and the money we can make and all of these things will not happen. And so instead of doing the right thing, and instead of going to authorities and saying, hey, my father confessed to me that he was sexually assaulting and is sexually assaulting children. And then the fact that they said he can't preach anymore, that was kind of one of the deals they made behind closed doors. And then he continued to preach, Brian's father, and he continued to sexually assault young children. It needed to be stopped when it came out. When Brian was told by his father, it needed to be stopped then. And sadly, it wasn't. And sadly, we see a lot of these organizations, these big, giant church organizations, continue to hide sin and continue to push it under the rug because they're too concerned about their name and their brand. And if we're too concerned about our name and brand, then we've missed the whole point of what church is about, what a church organization is about, and we've become selfish and greedy. And so we need to be praying for the victims. Yes, we need to be praying for Brian Houston. His father passed away, I think, back in 2004. So he's gone. But we do need to be in prayer for everybody involved in the situation and be in prayer that justice is served. Yes, innocent until proven guilty. But guys, we know the truth because the truth has finally come out. And we know what the outcome should be for this whole situation. So be in prayer for them, guys, and be encouraged that no matter what the outcome, God will righteously come forward in his timing. And we can hold on to that. So trust that, believe that, and know that God is not just turning a blind eye to all these sinister things that are happening. He sees the children who were hurt and involved, and justice will be served on this side of life or in eternity.